Donald Trump's Michigan town hall somehow got even more disastrous. This is with Sarah Huckabee Sanders, his former press secretary and the current governor of Arkansas. And we already talked about in the segment we just did this cognitive glitch lapse of his where he repeatedly says something that makes absolutely no sense. I'll remind you of that in case you missed it. And then we'll get into other moments from this that are pretty dang bonkers. So again, what we already talked about was this.
We just have the best. We have Bagram in Alaska. They say it might be as big, might be bigger than all of Saudi Arabia. I got it approved. Ronald Reagan couldn't do it. Nobody could do it. I got it done. In their first week, they terminated it. Check that one out. Bagram.
So he's saying Bagram in Alaska, meaning to say Anwar in Alaska, but saying Bagram, the air base in Afghanistan?
Check that one out. Think about this. Between Bagram, you go to Anwar, you take a look at the kind of things that we've given up. We should have that air base. We should have that oil. We would have had a whole different country.
And then trying to save himself there. Very concerning stuff. Well, after this long, rambling answer where that happens, that we dedicated a whole segment to, Sarah Huckabee Sanders goes, well, Donald, we love when you give long answers because you're great at answering the questions. And then you'll see what happens next.
President, we don't mind that you give long answers because you actually have something to say, because you actually got something done when you were president.
You know, it's a
Yeah, like how we're going to get oil from Bagram in Alaska.
very interesting because she said, I don't think I've ever said this before. So we do these rallies. They're massive rallies. Everybody stays till the end, by the way. You know, when she said that, well, your rallies, people leave. Honestly, nobody does. And if I saw them leaving, I'd say, and ladies and gentlemen, make America great again, and I'd get the hell out, okay? Because I don't want people leaving. But I do have to say, so I give these long, sometimes very complex sentences and paragraphs, but they all come together. I do it a lot. I do it with Raising Cane.
No, don't give us examples. Don't give us examples of how you ramble. That's what he's getting to. If everyone who watches the show who's not subscribed, just today, just the viewers today who aren't subscribed, who we're going to watch, click the subscribe button today, we'd hit 1 million subscribers. Pretty crazy based on the analytics. Do it. Thank you so much. Back to the video. I haven't even played this whole clip. I haven't watched till how long I'm going to play for you. I know he's going to get back to, but they say I ramble because that's what he always does. Watch Sarah Huckabee Sanders' face the whole time.
Story. I do it with the story on the catapults, on the aircraft carriers. I do it with a lot of different stories. When I mention Dr. Hannibal Lecter, I'm using that as an example of people that are coming in from Silence of the Lambs. I use it. They say, it's terrible. So they say, so I'll give this long, complex area. For instance, that I talked about a lot of different territory. The bottom line is, I said, the most important thing. We're going to bring more plants into your state and this country to make automobiles. We're going to be bigger than before. But the fake news, there's a lot of them back there. You know, for a town hall, there's a lot of people. But the fake news likes to say, oh, he was rambling. No, that's not rambling. That's genius when you can connect the dots. You gotta now, Sarah, if you couldn't connect the dots, you got a problem. But every dot was connected and many stories were told in that little paragraph. But there is something, but they say that. The other thing I say is this. We had 107,000 people show up in New Jersey. We had 68,000 people show up in Alabama.
And now he's going back to the thing he started with, which is, people don't leave my rallies. We have big rallies. And he didn't have 107,000 people. He's pulling that out of the place where the sun does not tend to shine. And I don't want to be insulting here. Let's see. It's the ramblings man's genius to be able to connect in your head retrospectively dots that are illustrated by one's point. It is a thoughtful, effective communicator's genius to make points that don't rely on the listener going, Bing, 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 bing. It all connects. Hannibal Lecter. Bagram in Alaska, even though that's an airbase in Afghanistan. Anwar. It all connects beautifully. But because he had that glitch and then goes on to talk for a super long time, he has to justify it and say, no. See, if you think that was jumbled, it's just because you're not as genius as me. But see, sometimes people do this with other influencers too, where someone will just speak sort of incoherently, but then their fans will say, no, that they're just so smart that they're speaking in a way that you can't understand. But your communication skills are only as effective as how they're resonating with the people you're communicating to. And so him believing, even though he's not doing this in some high-minded, thoughtful way, but him believing that he's such a good communicator that he doesn't make sense to people in many cases is just cope. Okay, that's all that is. That's cope. If he were more organized, as he was more organized back when he was a little younger, he would be able to put together in a sequence of thoughts with segues between those thoughts a series of ideas that he could deliver in a way that wasn't going to bring the allegation against him of being someone who's rambling or who's saying things that don't make sense or incoherent or cognitive decline. And then he's saying that, I know, because I could see how much he was flustered by the Bagram Anwar mix-up. He is trying to say that so anyone who's still thinking, was that a cognitive lapse? What was that? Will think, oh, it must have been a part of his really thoughtful, advanced beyond my IQ dot connecting. Then you have this.
You want to be able to have whatever it is, whatever the market is and all that stuff. But they said, sir, you're having a town hall tonight. And I said, a town hall? Well, what the hell? They want a rally. They don't want a town hall. Town hall? And I said, so who is the host? Because host or hostess. And they said, Sarah Huckabee Sanders. And I said, oh, that's good. I like that. But I figured, Sarah, you know, I love these rallies. You go and you say, we will make America great. Everyone's going crazy. We had one the other night. But you know what? Can I be honest? This was more fun than a rally today. This was...
So do you notice how he went and cut in a little late in what he was saying? But he's going, you know, my people, they said, you have a town hall. And I said, a town hall? What the hell? I didn't know I had a town hall. Fine. It's an acceptable thing to say. Just a little random remark, right? He told this exact same story at his last town hall like a couple weeks ago. A little weird.
I finished and I figured I was going to come here and we're going to make a speech. I had a speech all set for you. I was ready. Now, they said, sir, you're actually doing a town hall. I said, oh, nobody told me that. I said, who's doing it? They said, Tulsi. I said, well, that's at least good news. I've been a fan of hers for a long time, I have to tell you.
Isn't that kind of weird? He just told the same story. My people said, yeah, you got a town hall. I said, what? I thought I was doing a rally. All right, well, who's hosting it? Okay, I like them. Either he keeps forgetting his schedule or he doesn't have enough ways to relate to people here, so he thinks of the same stories. Very weird. Then he said this.
Except for China, we have to call it COVID. What the hell does COVID mean? The China virus. And a lot of people think they did that because they were not happy with me as president. I actually had a great relationship with President Xi.
His obsession with authoritarians runs contrary to a different point he likes to make, which is that countries that we traditionally identify as our adversaries are so scared of him and hated him so much that even maybe there was a plot to unleash COVID by China to take him out of office, which is what he just says. A lot of people think that, but then he says both at the same time, which doesn't make much sense. I had a great relationship. Xi Jinping loved me. He'll say this about Kim Jong-un. Kim Jong-un misses me. He wishes I was still president, but also all of our enemies are afraid of me because they're able to realize how powerful and strong and manly I am. And I was so strong that they unleashed COVID on me, a conspiracy theory that is very unsubstantiated. He also made this bonkers remark.
This nuclear power. And when I hear these people talking about global warming, that's the global warming you have to worry about. Not that the ocean's going to rise in 400 years an eighth of an inch, and you'll have more seafront property, right, if that happens. I said, is that good or bad? I said, isn't that a good thing? If I have a little property on the ocean, I have a little bit more property. I have a little bit more ocean. But
Is this the connecting the dots thing again? Is that what we should assume about every completely off the rails point? I did see someone say, if people in Michigan have more oceanfront property, we got a problem. Okay, we got a problem for sure. Then we'll end with this.
My name is Isaiah. I'm a third-generation UAW worker, working hard to build trucks here in America. Yes, yes.
get ready. You're going to be doing plenty of it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I work for Ford, and you actually came
American manufacturing has been booming under Biden.
and visited the plant that I work at.
That's right.
You did. And my question to you, sir, is what do you see as the major threats to the future of Michigan manufacturing, auto working jobs, and what will you do to eliminate those threats, sir?
Okay, so I'll get into another little bit of a long answer, because when you say major threat,
no.
to me we have one really major threat. That's called nuclear weapons.
yeah.
We have other.
I explained earlier in a different segment that you have sort of 2 degrees of separation from points for Trump. And no matter what he gets asked about, he's either going to go to the border, he's going to go to drill, baby, drill, even though we're drilling more than any country has in the history of the planet, including the United States, even under Trump. And he's going to go to maybe nuclear holocaust. And so it gets really confusing, which is why, and tariffs, I should say tariffs. And so there he goes, oh, how am I going to protect your job? I'm going to prevent you from getting nuked, baby. That's all I got to do. Be grateful for it. Yeah. What a town hall. Disturbing, truly. Let me know what you thought in the comments. Support the show by clicking the join button below.